mess. It's a goddamn wreck. It's a wreck. It's a mess. It's embarrassing. Things need to be done. Things need to be done now. And everybody here knows that my voice was, my opinion, my voice was all about being patient, not blaming Erik Ten Hag. I still don't completely blame Erik Ten Hag, but I mean, he is the man in charge and something needs to be done, and INEOS is going to look super weak if they do nothing. And it seems to be the story of the season. We come out the first half, we create some chances, we don't score. We just don't score. And then they make some adjustments, and then we suck in the second half, or we look like we're struggling in the second half. We don't create the same amount of chances that we did in the first half. This is a problem. Here's the thing. Again, I think whoever it is isn't going to win that much. Whoever it is has time to learn the league, especially if we get him in now. Let him learn for the rest of this season and learn who his squad is for the rest of this season. Pep Guardiola didn't win in his first season in the Premier League with a really good squad, better squad than the one we have presently. He still had to make some changes for the squad to play his style of football and for them to adapt to his methods. And he had a good squad. How are you not getting sacked? You're in 14th place. So let's not even talk about Ten Hag in, Ten Hag out. I was Ten Hag in for the longest time. I'm still not Ten Hag out. I'm just saying it's inevitable. It has to happen. It's going to happen. So let's start wrapping our head around it and let's start planning ahead, looking ahead, because that's what I hope they're doing. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Semeex Football. Thank you so much for being patient with me and joining me for another one of these videos. And I know I've been gone for about 10 days, maybe a week. And I've been getting messages from some of you people letting me know that, like, you're waiting for a video. You're waiting to talk about what's been going on with Manchester United and the mess we're in right now. But I think some of you know that I've been having problems with my old PC. And I lost a bunch of work that I did for this channel. All the pictures and the cartoons I used to make for comedy or for editing, all of that's gone because of a corrupt hard drive I had. And really, that PC was old and it needed upgrading. So I am proud to announce, or happy to announce, I'm halfway through building in this new PC. You can see it on your screen right now. I'll try to edit it in. And I'm not completely done, but I'm done enough to where I can work on it today and get this video out. But I'll be working on it some more in the next 2-3 weeks, try to get all the software and the programs I want on there so I can get editing done just like I used to do in the past videos. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get right on to the subject at hand, Manchester United, and what it is we need to talk about today. The team's a mess. It's a goddamn wreck. It's a wreck. It's a mess. It's embarrassing. Things need to be done. Things need to be done now. And everybody here knows that my voice was, my opinion, my voice was all about being patient, not blaming Erik Ten Hag. I still don't completely blame Erik Ten Hag, but I mean, he is the man in charge and something needs to be done, and INEOS is going to look super weak if they do nothing. And now is the time. So in the summer, they did a recruiting, fact-gathering exercise, whatever, where they talked to a bunch of managers and they interviewed a ton of people. Tommy Tickles, Gareth Southgate. We heard all the names, Frank Thomas. We heard a million names back then, and then they decided to stick with Erik Ten Hag, and I was actually happy. I was happy they were going to give the man his time. Now, we're going to get to the games, and we're going to talk about what's been going on and who I think is really to blame, but let's get to this because I already started here. Usually I like to close with the strong argument, but we're going to open with it this time around. The man is at the head of the ship. He's the captain of the ship. Somebody's got to go down for this. We tied Porto, we drew against Aston Villa, we drew against Fenerbahce, we beat Brentford, and we lost today against West Ham. I might have got that order wrong, but those are our last 4 or 5 results. Something has to be done. The team's playing like shit also, and I don't think that's all him to blame. I think the players are mostly to blame, but it's obvious that this relationship isn't working out. And again, because you're a new owner, because we have a new football structure in place, they can't look or seem to the fans like they're incompetent and they don't do anything. So they have to by now, they got to do something. And we're hearing stories that they're already interviewing and they're talking to other managers, such as Xavi Hernandez. They talked to the ex-Borussia Dortmund coach. I forgot his name. Tadic, I don't know what his name is. And Ruben Amorim was somebody also on that list in the reports that I was reading. Great choices. I am super happy with these choices. Not so much the ex-Dortmund coach. I'm not sure I would want him, but I wouldn't be upset if we got him because it could have been worse. It could be really worse. I didn't like the list that we had going on last summer when they were thinking about replacing Erik Ten Hag after we had won the FA Cup. And I think that most of the fans agree with me, and that's why most of the fans were happy when they held on to Erik Ten Hag. But this time, this list, I like it a lot more. But I want to be careful here. I want everybody to listen to what I'm about to say. I don't think Erik Ten Hag is completely 100% to blame, and I think whoever they hire, even off that list that I just said I'm happy with, would not be able to do much better than what Erik Ten Hag has been able to do with this squad. I think this squad is shit. I think this squad needs changing. I think this squad is imbalanced. Or unless you want to sit back and counterattack, then you got the perfect squad for it, really. Like, you'd only need to make 1 or 2 changes, and you can hunker in, sit back, and counterattack all day long, and you'd probably get a whole lot of wins. You wouldn't win the league, but you'd get a whole lot of wins. You would definitely be able to finish in the top 4 if we started the season over again, and that's all you did with this squad of players. But if we want to play a more modern, high possession type of football where we're going to take the game to the opponent, this squad needs a lot of changing. This squad is not built to do that. This squad, I don't think is capable to do that or has the baller skills that it takes to possess the ball like that to do that. We have players who miss shots too, miss open shots, but we also have players who just don't pass the ball that well in tight spaces. They just don't. They don't possess the ball that well. They don't play the game in slow motion in their head. Does that make sense? It's an instinct you have to have. It's an instinct I don't want to say like Kobe Mainu, because some of you guys are going to tell me, well, Kobe Mainu's special. Yes, he is special, but I mean, we can get midfielders who can possess the ball like that and not give it away so easily. There's a lot of them out there, especially in La Liga, where the Spanish players are highly technical. So it's not, yes, Kobe Mainu's special. I'm not saying he's not special, but I'm also not saying that there's only 1 or 2 players in the whole world that know how to possess a ball in a tight space, yeah? There's a ton of them. We're just not built that way. That's not who we have. Our forwards like to run into empty, open spaces and have through balls sent to them. That's when they work their best, including Garnacho, who everybody loves to sing his praises, but Garnacho is not that good in tight spaces, and Garnacho is not that good when the defense is already set up. He doesn't cross the ball that well. He doesn't know how to get Højlund involved. He knows how to try to create a shot from probably a ridiculous angle and take it anyway. And this sounds like a negative video, but it should be. We just lost a game to West Ham 2-1, and they're not good. And we sucked even more. Not the first half. We played all right the first half. Then they made some adjustments and we sucked. And it seems to be the story of the season. We come out the first half, we create some chances, we don't score. We just don't score. And then they make some adjustments, and then we suck in the second half, or we look like we're struggling in the second half. We don't create the same amount of chances that we did in the first half. This is a problem that we need to solve. We need to do something. And some of you guys may think, and some things I've been reading and hearing from other fans is that, Van Nistelrooy can take over the club on a temporary basis. I don't think that's the plan. I don't. And in the beginning, we all thought that, Van Nistelrooy is coming so that if there's an issue and we need to let go of Erik Ten Hag, Van Nistelrooy can take over on a temporary basis till the summer, and then we hire someone new. If that is the plan, that's a stupid-ass plan. So let's talk about what should happen. If you guys want me to go on and on about what I think about the state of the team right now, we can do that. Just let me know in the comments if you want me to talk more about that on the next video. But I think what we need to talk about, or what I'd like to get to, because everybody's talking about what state the team is in right now, but what I'd like to get to is kind of what my hopes, my dreams, or my wishes are that the footballing people are thinking about doing. Now, number one, we need to focus in on the main issue. The main issue is the squad. The main issue is that this squad is not good enough. As long as we keep our focus, and that's the number one thing on our list, we can make decisions about the manager in the right way, basically. So what I mean to say is, if everybody's on board, if everybody in the footballing structure understands that this squad, the heart transplant that we need for this squad is not done yet. We're only about 25% done. We still got 75% of the way to go to make this squad into a championship caliber squad. So we're only, I would say, a couple of pieces away from making it let's say a top 4 challenging squad, but barely. But we're a long way to go before we're talking about challenging for a championship. So with that in mind, why would I want to get a temporary manager in of any kind? I don't care if it's Van Nistelrooy or whoever it is. I wouldn't want a temporary manager in, and I think that's a bad idea, and I don't think that's what these guys are going to do. I think these guys are smarter than that. You need to get somebody in as soon as possible so that they have a couple of months with the squad before the January transfer window. Not because you're planning on spending big in the January transfer window, but because you can bring in one, let's say, affordable piece or maybe 2 affordable pieces for this person so that he can keep tinkering from now till next summer. And then he'll have a better idea, and everybody will have a better idea of what he needs to do his best. Now, here's the thing. If they do that, he's going to lose games. So let's get that right. Let me just go ahead and announce who I hope they hire if they get rid of Erik Ten Hag. So I want Xavi Hernandez. And I know some people don't. They say he hasn't proven anything. They say he didn't do that well with Barcelona and blah, blah, blah. But I actually think that Xavi Hernandez, if you see what he did with the little team in Qatar, I know that it's not a major league. I know it's not a big league. But the kinds of passes his team would play in tight areas, the kinds of drills he would put them through is basically what I want to see from our players. I want to see players who are comfortable in tight areas. I want to see players who are, can pass. And if you can't pass, you should be sitting on the bench. And I think that Xavi Hernandez learned a lot in his experience at Barcelona. You learn more from failure than you do from success. By the way, I also think he won the league in Barcelona. It's not like he just failed. I'm pretty sure he won the league. I need to look that up, but I have a feeling he won the league in one of the seasons he was there. And it just didn't go so well for him in the last season he was there. I think Xavi Hernandez would be perfect for these guys, and I think Xavi Hernandez would be a great mentor for someone like Kobbie Mainoo. With that said, I think that if Xavi Hernandez came in and took over the squad right now or next week, that he would lose a lot of games. And then you're going to have a bunch of Manchester United YouTubers going on and saying, you shouldn't have hired this fraud, INEOS makes a big mistake, and blah, blah, blah. But I don't think it matters who they hire. Whoever they hire, Xabi Alonso, Carlo Ancelotti, Pep Guardiola, even though it will never happen, whoever they hire is going to lose a lot of games or draw a lot of games. And is not going to, he's only going to win against the weaker teams because this squad is not good. This squad is not good enough. And I don't want to see or hear Manchester United fans saying this bald fraud or, if it was Pep, or this Spanish fraud, if it's Xavi Hernandez, needs to go, needs to get sacked, and INEOS should have never hired him in the first place. This is not a manager issue as much as you think it is. Sure, Erik Ten Hag still needs to go. I am still saying, I'm raising my hand, and I'm saying Erik Ten Hag's time's up. It's up. Sorry, you had your time. It's up, even though it's not completely 100% your fault. We should be playing a little bit better by now. And your time's up. And it's obvious that you and the INEOS people don't really work that well together, or else there wouldn't be. That's the other thing. I don't want to see my team in the news all the time because our owners are interviewing other managers. There's definitely not a great relationship going on there. They're not working well together. So that's another reason why Erik Ten Hag, his time is up. But again, I don't want to hear anything about the next manager when he loses, unless it's Gareth Southgate. Then by all means, let's all talk about Gareth out, because I don't want Gareth Southgate. But I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be anybody that's going to be a bad pick. So far, I like the names on the list. I don't want Thomas Frank. He's on the list too from what I read, but I hope that's not a real thing because I don't want Thomas Frank. But also, I think that there's a good chance that Thomas Frank is not a real thing because he would cost the most to get right now. Ruben Amorim wouldn't cost as much as Thomas Frank, and then the other two managers we spoke about are out of jobs right now, so they're free. Also, there was a nice photo on X of Xavi with I believe someone who is his son wearing a Manchester United kit just today on X. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? You want Xavi Hernandez? Is that cool? Like, I've been reading some negative posts about that on X, so I know that a lot of you guys are thinking he's not experienced enough, he's not ready, he probably wouldn't do good in the Premier League, and blah, 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 blah. But here's the thing. Again, I think whoever it is isn't going to win that much. Whoever it is has time to learn the league, especially if we get him in now. Let him learn for the rest of this season and learn who his squad is for the rest of this season. Pep Guardiola didn't win in his first season in the Premier League with a really good squad, better squad than the one we have presently. He still had to make some changes for the squad to play his style of football and for them to adapt to his methods. And he had a good squad. He actually had a squad that had just won the league the year prior. Our squad sucks. So what do you think Pep would do if he came to our squad? He would suck too. Like the record would still be bad. It maybe wouldn't be this bad, but it would be bad. We wouldn't be in 14th, but we'd be in 9th, guys. Like, we wouldn't be in 4th. And that's okay. Like, as long as everybody understands that, and everybody understands that, like, this squad needs changing, it's okay. And we have to start moving in that direction. And the way to move in that direction the right way is we make a change soon. So I hope that we see a new manager in, because, look, it's inevitable. This manager is getting sacked. It's inevitable. Like, how are you not getting sacked? You're in 14th place. So let's not even talk about Ten Hag in, Ten Hag out. I was Ten Hag in for the longest time. I'm still not Ten Hag out. I'm just saying it's inevitable. It has to happen. It's going to happen. So let's start wrapping our head around it and let's start planning ahead, looking ahead, because that's what I hope they're doing. I hope INEOS is doing that same thing. I hope they're looking ahead and planning ahead, and that changes will start taking place sooner rather than later. Now, we all know that these people sometimes take too long to make a decision, just like they did in the summertime. I don't want to see a repeat of that. So let's stack hands. Let's make decisions that lead to a better summer, which lead to a better next season. And the only way you're going to do that in the right way is to get a manager in as soon as possible, so he can ask for 1 or 2 squad changes this January. And then by the summer, he really has a good knowledge of what he can get and what he can't get from his players. Because everybody who comes in might think, oh, I can get a lot from Garnacho or Rashford or whoever, right? And they might not want to trade them or sell them. But then a year later, they're going, you know what, I should have sold them. You never know. I don't know what would happen, but it's not my job to know. It's my opinion that we need to get whoever's job it is to know in as soon as possible. Guys, thank you very much for being as soon as possible. Guys, thank you very much for sticking with me and coming back to watch this channel. I am trying to get this PC working so I can edit more, make more videos, and I think there's some exciting times ahead, and I know right now we're into dumps, and we should be into dumps. Oh, by the way, I got the posters done behind me there. So those are the 3 best signings I think of last summer. My signings of the summer are those 3, and anybody else we signed, honestly, didn't even come close. Xerxes, Ugarte do not come close to those 3. If there's anybody who comes close, it's Cheeto Obi Martin. Cheeto Obi Martin, who scored a hat trick in his first 17 minutes with our academy just this last week. If you didn't see it, you should check it out. It's on YouTube if you want to watch the highlights, or if you have the MUTV app, you can actually watch the game on there. Cheeto Obi Martin is a great signing. I would throw him up there if he was already playing with the senior team, but he's not, so he's not up there. These are the 3. It's Mazraoui, it's De Ligt, and it's my man Lenny Yoro, who I'm hoping, since this season's already done, and I mean that, this season's already done. There is no top 4 this season. And since this season's already done, unless we win the Europa League, I guess that I am still interested in. But since this Premier League season's already done, I'm hoping when Lenny Yoro gets healthy, he gets a lot of time. I want him to... This is the perfect time to have our kids play and mature, as long as we're not in some sort of relegation battle, which would be even more fucking embarrassing. It's a fucking mess, goddammit. Guys, I'll see you soon.